Hello. This is the podcast, I guess our first attempt at podcasting, the Silent Films podcast, or whatever. We haven't really named it at this point. I am sitting here with friend and actor Lee Romero. He's worked with me on my feature film called The Skelliptica Effect, which I will be talking about in time to come later, whatever. Right now, we thought, then again, I might end up talking about it today. Who knows? Right now, we thought we'd test out this podcast thingamajig. We're not recording directly into the iTunes. We're using another piece of software, but then it will be transferred and put on the podcast Willie soon or whatever. But right now, we're going to take it light. We thought we'd share some ideas or, some feedback on the latest Batman, The Dark Knight. And I will, right now, hand it over to Lee. We may be expecting a third party, another one of our actors, Roberto Rivera, who I've known for years, is a diehard comic book head, but we're not sure what's going on. He had to run an errand or something. I think it might be milk related or hamburger related, but we're not sure. Yeah. So actually, I'm going to start in with my feelings on The Dark Knight, as Lee has just gone off to get himself a little beverage from the kitchen area and add some ice. The Dark Knight. I will start by saying that I kind of expected a little more. And I don't know why. And I'm wondering if it's psychologically because I had to bypass 3 theaters and eventually make it inside the theater on the 4th. So every time I went to go to try and purchase a ticket, it was sold out, and it became very frustrating. And I had to take a break, and I came home, and then I left again. And on the 4th time, I was able to catch the film. So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it. For some reason, I really feel that it doesn't. But maybe psychologically it does, and I haven't really acknowledged it. But I usually judge a film on its merit. Same thing kind of happened when I went to see I Am Legend. I actually went to the IMAX theater because I wanted to take a chance to catch the first few minutes of the Batman, the opening of The Dark Knight, and those tickets were sold out. And I said, forget about it. I went home, powered down, and said, forget it, I don't want to go see it today, I'll wait. And then 2 hours later, I changed my mind and said, you know what, I'm going to go to another theater, a smaller one, and see if I can catch it. And I caught it, and I enjoyed it. It had its couple little chinks in the armor, but overall, I have to say I enjoyed it. I had the DVD, and I've watched it probably on 3 occasions. So it was cool, but I don't, maybe me having to go to these different theaters didn't have anything to do with it, but I just expected more. I don't know what it was. For starters, let me just say that I will take my hat off because I was a little bit skeptical as to them casting Heath Ledger. I wasn't sure if he could pull it off, and I thought that he did a wonderful freaking job. I don't know if we can curse in these things yet, so I'll just hold my tongue. I thought he was incredible. I thought that he had a lot of fun with it. People think that the Joker was the reason why he died. I know he had sleeping problems, but he looked like he had a hell of a time filming this. Like, he had a lot of fun. I heard interviews and I read interviews with them saying that he had a lot of fun, and when the camera stopped, he got out of character, and he would often go over to Christian or Aaron Eckhart. He just ask them, like, hey, how am I doing? How's it look? And they tell me, you're doing fine, just keep it up. It's like, okay, cool. And then they just sit and they just talk, and once the cameras got on, started rolling again, boom, he just jumped in the character. So I really don't think that he was possessed by that character and whatever. But I think that he did a wonderful job, and it is something that it's a legacy for him. He could have been left with the whole Brokeback Mountain thing, and that's not a bad thing because I did see that movie and I thought it was a cool movie, especially the cinematography was excellent. But I thought it was a really good movie. But he will forever and proudly be known now more so as the Joker than as the dude from Brokeback Mountain. I can't remember his name. I just remember the other character, Jack Twist. But Lee.
Yes, sir.
Give me some of your feedback, and just go for it.
All right. Well, first of all, hello everyone out there in podcast land. This is Lee Romero, and regarding The Dark Knight, I have to say I enjoyed it a lot. I guess for some apparent reason, normally you have lots of films out there that have so much hype, and you go watch them, and they just wind up really, oh God, opposite. They just suck. But this one, for some reason, I don't know. I like the whole idea, the whole aspect of having the Dark Knight, like dark and creepy and mysterious, and just going in directions that aren't so animated as the other Batman films we've had during the past, I don't know, 10, 15 years, which pretty much, I think, were just simple mockeries out of the whole comic book story and cartoons and comics and all. But I really enjoyed it. It was definitely great storytelling. I definitely loved it. And for some apparent reason, Heath Ledger, I thought, really stood out with the whole Joker character. He did seem like he owned it. He went to places that other people, I really doubt, would have gone. I mean, I don't know if there was a list for people they wanted to cast as the Joker. I myself haven't seen of any. I haven't heard of any, but I think it was just perfect casting, and he bounced off very well during scenes with Christian Bale, during scenes with Aaron Eckhart and Maggie Gyllenhaal. But I just have a question that just like pretty much left me, I don't know, just with my head spinning towards the end of the film. I mean, I guess I really don't have to give too much here to say, but I'm sure half the world has seen the film already. But I guess my question is,
if not, then walk away or turn down the volume.
yeah, if not, just walk away, turn down the volume. But it's just, I just have to let it out because it's been bugging me for fucking weeks already. Sorry if we can't curse on this. At the end, what happens with the Joker? I felt like I was left hanging. And
he was left hanging.
He was left hanging, and I was left hanging. And then it's like, wait, was that like some sort of, I guess, scene where it was supposed to lead to another one? No one even knew what was going to happen with his death and all.
But didn't the cops show up?
Yeah, they...
Wasn't he hanging there with like a bunch of cops, the SWAT team or whatever? They just like appeared and they was like, and he was just swinging and he just started laughing. That's what I thought. I just thought like they showed him hanging and the cops were there, and that, they were just going to untie him, like cut him loose and just arrest him. That was my impression.
He, again, if you haven't seen the film, walk away. He already had been arrested. He had worked out some magical game plan to
that was kind of a cool
escape, and I really loved how he executed everything.
Oh, well, if that's the case, he's going to Arkham, because that's that's where all those fuckers go, in the Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
The one thing though, this is the thing that I mean, I understand it because the comic book and everything, but how do you arrest him, take him into central booking, take his knives and all that shit, and you don't take off his makeup? I understood it would have worked if they had stayed with like the Nicholson with like his whole hands and everything was white, but then his hands were like pink or whatever, and his face was white.
It was all painted.
And it's just like how do you just let him sit in the cell? Come on now, some black dude as a Joker gets arrested. He's like, take that. That stuff is coming off.
Yeah.
Period. You know, I'd rather him just had his whole body just been white, whatever. I mean,
Well, I guess maybe NYPD would have had a whole different approach on arresting the Joker. I guess Gotham PD has a different way of handling situations, but
they ran out of towels.
yeah, probably, or water or something. So I don't know, but yeah, there's that with the Joker at the end, and then also I really didn't. Again, if you could see it, walk the hell away. I don't like the fact that they killed out Two-Face. They should have left him going. I think they should have had something different for him in the sense of like letting him survive.
What are you talking about? The hospital?
No, at the end when he flips the coin and he, they're playing that roulette whole situation. See, I'm speaking here in a way I really don't want to give much away. Where Batman tackles him out and he falls from that.
Mm-hmm. You know what's funny?
I think he's dead.
I just thought he was unconscious.
That's what I thought too.
You
and
know?
Then towards the end, when they had that whole, I guess, obituary for him or whatever it is, in the city, and it's like he died.
It's fucked up. No, because
what is that?
I just thought that they were having like a memoriam for him, just to say like we're gonna remember Harvey Dent. Like they wanted to put like uphold that image. That was my take on it. I didn't even put. I mean, they
my
might
take
kill
on
him.
it was that they killed him off because they just had the camera on him. They panned him and he's just laying there. And I'm trying to look to see if he's breathing. Maybe if it, he might be unconscious or whatever. But no. And then all of a sudden they just cut to his thing the very next day. And I'm
That
like,
sucks. If they really
why did they
him.
kill him off? Because I mean,
he's a
I'm
pertinent
sure,
character.
Yeah, he
like
is.
a serious villain. Dude, I think, I don't know, I can't disagree because, the Hollywood system, they're a little, wow. I didn't even take it as that. I just took it that, wow. I can't even, how did they land? Because when they fell, I don't even remember. They just
he landed on his back because Batman tackled him. I guess he was going to shoot the kid, and Batman just tackled him. And
I thought they both went. Okay, I gotta check it out again. Wow, for some reason I just thought that he was, and it didn't look like the fall was that.
No, it didn't
was
seem
that deep.
like it was that deep, but they just had like he got up, and then the commissioner was somewhere else.
I think that he's unconscious. What? He's gonna pop back up. Trust me.
Well, I really do hope so because I'm sure they can go a long way with that Two-Face character.
I like what they did, like how the special effects. That was cool. It looked like the comic, reminded me of the comic.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing that bothered me about that was I would have liked to see more of a metamorphosis. I didn't understand, and I'm sure somebody might be able to explain, unless he was considered a trauma victim, why he was tied to the damn bed.
I didn't understand that either.
Two, even if they just did that for like 5 minutes, or not even 5 minutes, 2 minutes or something, just have him in the bed like wigging out, so you can see him transformation, just flashbacks of, what's her face, and knowing that she's dead, and he's just like going crazy, and his face laying on the acid and the flame, and maybe he blames Batman, and then he just starts wigging out, and then you can see him change, rather than, oh, okay, we just got a text from Roberto. He's on his way, and
he can help maybe clear.
Yeah, he can help clarify a lot of stuff.
He's a comic book freak, but
straight.
I enjoyed it. I mean, I really fucking enjoyed it. I want to see more. I don't know. I definitely.
I have to say that I enjoyed it, but I just, for some reason, I expected more. With all the hype, it's like, and not that I was wanting more. I just, when I left there, I was like, okay, that's it. Like,
and that was like 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours, and I remember it was supposed to be 3, but I don't know what it was. I was also bothered by the PG-13 and the fact that, I would have liked the Joker to be the Joker. One of my favorite scenes is when he blows up the hospital and he's in the street just chuckling, just doing his little. I like that. But then when you cut to Gordon, it's like, did we get everyone out the building? And the guy's like, yeah. And it's like, ah, man, like, why'd you even blow up the building if there's nobody in there? It's like it defeated the purpose of the Joker being the Joker.
exactly.
You know, it's
And
like
there's a-
you
yeah.
you want that love-hate type thing. You love that he's dastardly, but you hate the fact that he's a terrorist, that he's crazy, that he's just killing people.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
just-
and he is just he's a maniac. He's a freaking cryptic human being.
Yeah,
Therefore, the scene with the fairies, it upset me too because I would have wanted to see one blow up the other, or perhaps him blow them both up.
But see, what I thought,
You know?
and you hitting it on the head, because do what I thought that, because he was such a manipulator, what he did when he had Batman make the choice,
Mhm.
I'm sitting there watching it, and as it hits me, I said, you know what? Knowing him, they're each responsible for their own bomb.
Mhm.
You know, and then when they had Zeus or Debo or whatever,
Or Tiny
you know,
Lister.
or Tiny Lister,
Junior, whatever
you know,
his name is.
take the thing from him, take the detonator, and it was like, I want to do what you didn't want to do, you scared to do, and he takes it and fucking throws it out the window. I'm like, what
What kind
fucking
of-
Disney movie is this?
You're a
He should-
criminal.
You're a criminal with other hardcore criminals, and
You're-
they not beating your ass
No.
for not. No way, dude. He should have hit the detonator. They blew up, and then everybody would have freaked out thinking that the other boat did it, and the people on that ship would have been like, we didn't press anything. What happened? What? Oh, he tricked us. Again, the Joker tricks him because he's a jokester, and that's what he does. And either way, he's still laughing at it. If you got this guy stabbing dudes with pencils in the face and cutting up gangsters and this and that,
At least take
if
that,
you're gonna go there, you might as well
take
have him
that,
just
yeah.
kill people in the goddamn
take
hospital.
that malicious, cryptic type of mentality
And just keep
to another
doing
level.
it. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, why we
I-
PG and
I would've
13 is
wanted
so the
more,
kids
yeah.
can come in and you can get a higher payday on your weekend box office.
It's all about the kids.
The
too.
but the kids are going to see it on DVD anyway.
Mhm.
You know,
No.
that you're going to charge more. You're going to make it, you're charging 10, 50, 11 bucks. When it comes out on DVD, it's going to be $20. You're going to make that money back that you lost from the kid.
Mhm.
All right, let's say you got 2 kids. Okay, you know, whatever. But I mean, you're still gonna make that money back.
Yeah.
It's what? It's gonna be 400, if not probably this weekend.
When does the DVD come out anyway?
The DVD's slated to come out like November, December.
November, December.
You
So-
know, because Iron Man's coming out in September.
All right, so you figure now the film I had heard was originally 3 hours long.
Mhm.
They cut it down to 2.5. So there's a half hour that they did not show us. Perhaps in that half hour there might be something that maybe might help complete the film for
Mhm.
me or for you or for anybody else. But what was the reason for cutting the film down to 2.5 hours anyway?
Same thing. You want to put the asses in the seats. People
Yeah.
staying there for 3 hours. When it's way too long, especially when they think of that type of film, actions, comic book, whatever. The suits, sometimes they start thinking, we need multiple plays. We need this to keep playing over and over and over again. And the whole 3-hour thing, are people really going to stay and sit here for 3 hours? You know, if they're paying one time for 3 hours, and then somebody else is going to come in for another 3 hours, they need that repeat business. They need to, do I really want to go back and go see another movie for 3 hours? I mean, technically, if you like it, you're going to see it. Because how long was Titanic?
Titanic was 3 hours.
3 hours. So
And
people
it
would
made over $500 million.
So, I mean, people were going to come. Then again, it might just be some stuff. It might not have been the suits. It might have been just stuff that he just figured, let me cut it down. I know I can put it on as a DVD extra. So either way, I still win. I'll trim this down. And either-
Titanic had nothing to do with comic books or kids. It was
It's
just
that's
a plain old love story
story.
that dragged for about 2 hours and change, and then came the whole...
Doom, you know,
Titanic,
but
you know.
they dealt with that character, those 2 characters. They built up those characters so that when it, boom, you really tug on your heartstrings. So
yeah,
they
you felt... I mean, I enjoyed it a lot, but I really think that if they would have left the entire 3 hours, people would have still watched it.
people still,
Yeah,
of course,
definitely,
people. That's the reason
definitely.
why it's making loot, because people are coming back 2 and 3 times
Of
to go
course.
see this thing. I had a feeling though. I had a feeling that they were going to kill off the Maggie Gyllenhaal character.
Is it Gyllenhaal or Gillen?
Gyllenhaal, whatever. She's still making more dough than we are right now.
She's a Gyllenhaal.
And I'm glad that they went that way. I was just anticipating, I was hoping that this fucking guy was not gonna like unmask himself in front of either Gordon or like Two-Face or whatever, because that would have really pissed me off. But one of my pet peeves about the film, and I'll say the character, it didn't hit me as much as in the first one, but in this one, it wasn't really annoying. It was like, it was making me laugh, and I didn't understand why it was like that. What the hell is up with his fucking voice? Where is he?
Oh!
Who are you?
You bring up...
Where did you find him? Where's the Joker?
What's up with that rasp?
What
It's
the
like,
fuck?
I mean, all the Batmans I've seen from when I was a kid
When
on the
Keaton,
TV,
Keaton was, at least Keaton was like, where is he?
yeah,
Tell me
exactly.
where he is.
Val Kilmer played it, nonchalant.
I can understand when he's screaming at somebody, but it's like, he's the Joker. This guy again. We need to find out who he is. Harvey, don't do that. Like, what the? That's why I read an article that it was straining on his voice. Of fucking course. What do you expect? Who is he?
And after 80 shots,
After 80 takes
of every scene, and of course it's going to be straining on his voice, but I don't know. It's what was the purpose of that rasp? I guess that's something that only the director would be able to answer, because I mean, I've seen Batman for years, and none of them had a raspy voice.
Meanwhile, at Gotham State,
Batman and his raspy English voice.
Batman and Robin climbing the building of the other TV show, and like when someone opens up the window, Batman, go back in, ma'am. We have this under control.
Get back in there.
Get back in there.
Robin. That's a character I hope they never bring out in any of these.
You know what? I think that I can tolerate Robin if they do it the right way, man. I mean, if they make the Joker the bastard that killed his parents, which is, they do the same thing, and they make him dark, and they make him,
Well, in the comic books, they made Robin dark, because after a certain point, Robin and Batman had some sort of fallout.
That's why he bounced, right?
Yeah, he bounced, and then he, his hair grew like the Baron is from G.I. Joe, and he had like some black outfit with like an R.
That's how he became Nightwing with the whole black.
Yeah, and he had like this bank robber type mask around his eyes or whatever, and he became a lot more hardcore than the I don't know, the gay one that we're so used to seeing with the red and the, I'm sorry.
I like the red and yellow and the green.
I don't like any of that.
Those are kind of close to African colors, man.
Right. So Robin was keeping it real with those colors, but
I have to say I like the little hint that I wish this other guy was here. The whole kind of play on the Knights of Gotham, with the Batman clones that were like fighting crime. A little bit of homage to the Knights of Gotham.
Yes, that was cool.
That was
I
cool.
thought that was really cool.
I wasn't bothered. I heard Howard Stern mention how he couldn't figure out why these two handsome guys were fighting over Maggie Gyllenhaal's character. I think she's cute.
She's cute, but she's not
cute.
all that, because
I mean, I always have to say Katie Holmes might be a little bit cuter than her, but she's cute nonetheless. She's not a biscuit. I mean, hey, where I had cast somebody a bit more,
I would cast Jessica Biel for everything.
I would.
For every little fucking.
I
love
could
interest,
see her
Jessica
doing
Biel.
that. I could see her doing that. I could see her.
I don't know about Alba, but Biel, yes.
Alba hasn't. I'm gonna leave that alone, dude. I'm gonna push my button on that. With that said, I'm sure the viewers, the listeners. Anyway, who else? What I.
All right, there's Jessica Biel. There's.
They could have put in. Who would have been smashing?
Charlize Theron.
Yeah, she would have been good. But they could have put in like Amy Adams, who's like the new hot thing. Hell, they could have put in what's that cute? No.
She's just a transformer.
No, what's that cutie pie? The lips.
Angelina Jolie. No, who are you talking about?
Annie Hathaway.
Oh,
Anne Hathaway.
They
could have put
Get
her
Smart
in.
Girl.
Yeah, they could have put her in. I mean, we could go on with that. guy walking by.
I don't know if,
But I mean, I'm not knocking Gyllenhaal. I think she was a much better actress than I do think that Katie Holmes was miscast in that first one. I really do.
yeah, but
You know,
Tom Cruise pulled her out because of Scientology.
you think so? You think
I-
that's because?
No, I'm just saying.
I think that people were really complaining, and that's probably why they did the switcheroo.
He thinks he's God.
You know, but I think that she's a much better actress.
She might hear this and sue us.
You know, even if they had gotten the other girl from, well, I don't even know if they would have did that. Michelle Williams, let's say the other girl from Dawson's Creek. Michelle Williams, who was Heath's fiance.
Oh,
She's a
okay,
good
yeah,
actress.
yeah,
She
yeah,
could
yeah.
have did that as well. You know, and that I could have understood a little bit more, you know, with those two fighting over her. But Gyllenhaal, yeah, you know, yay, nay, I kind of get it. But, I mean, hey,
At the end of the day, I would still bag Gyllenhaal or Gyllenhaal, whatever.
of course. But, me personally, I wouldn't have cast Christian Bale as
No?
Batman. Not
I
that
think
he's
Christian
horrible.
Bale-
No,
no,
he's
good.
doing good.
I think he's
doing
doing
good. But I just have a thing, you know, call me whatever you want to, you guys out there. I have a thing that, you know, where we have these American characters and we're casting a lot of guys overseas. You know, Wolverine, Hugh
What's
Jackman.
that about? What's that about? I mean,
That's what I'm saying. It's like, you know,
European
I mean, these
actors
guys
or
are
Australian
good.
actors better than American
No,
actors?
these guys are good. Hey, look, and even prior to
Mm-hmm.
Hugh Jackman, the other dude, Doug Ray Scott. I don't even think he's American. I don't think he's an American actor.
What did he play?
He was going to be Wolverine.
Oh, he was?
He was the villain in Mission Impossible 2,
Oh, okay, I know who you're talking about.
and
now.
he did something else that was kind of hot. I just can't remember right now. But I would, me personally, and I've told people, I don't know if I told you, I would have cast Josh Duhamel as Batman from that show Las Vegas.
Okay, I can see that
He
happening.
got the look. He's tall. He's like probably 6'2", 6'3". He's handsome. He's got that voice. You know,
What, that voice like
no,
that?
not like that.
Oh.
But like kind of like a whispery, kind of like soft, like, "Hey guys, let's go to you." I could have seen him. You know, and he used to be a model,
Mhm.
so I could have seen him as that. I would have cast that dude. You
Ashton
know,
Kutcher, probably?
no, I would
not
never
Ashton
fucking
Kutcher.
cast that dude. No way. No.
He's just
fucking
having
way.
fun banging Demi Moore.
Actually, I heard that he was up for Superman at one point.
Ashton Kutcher?
Yeah, this is when everybody was that dark cloud of Superman. Who was supposed to be Paul
Oh,
Walker.
yeah.
Ashton Kutcher was up for it, and then like supposedly
Nicolas
all turned
Cage was
down.
supposed to...
That would have been horrible. That's when Tim Burton was doing it, and it's like,
Yeah, because he fucked up Ghost Rider.
but
I think they should
look,
redo Ghost Rider.
Look, it's not a for me. I don't think it's about the actor. I think it's about the product. You know, and I'm quite sure he knew going into it that the product was corny.
That's why he pulled out of it, and he did Snake Eyes or something like that.
No, he still did Ghost Rider. I'm talking about Ghost Rider. I'm not talking about Superman.
Oh, I thought you were... Oh, okay.
You know, I think, you know, looking at that, I didn't even see Ghost Rider. I just saw, oh man, I just saw that one shot, and I don't want to, with Eva Mendes, and I was just
Oh,
like,
well, she's
Mamma
the only reason to
mia.
go see that film.
You know.
Because other than that, I mean, I'm not knocking on Nick Cage, because I think he's a good actor, and I've enjoyed lots of his films, but that whole Ghost Rider, I mean, no, man. What was that for? It looks like Marvel just, like, gave away one of their best comic book, you know,
Probably.
personas, and just, like, said, here, just ruin it.
Hey, I mean, they kind of did that
With Daredevil.
I think, you know, especially depending on like how the guys are gonna feel when the Spirit comes out, I say give the Daredevil franchise to Frank Miller and let him do that, especially with him and because he kind of reinvented Daredevil and Elektra as well. He breathed a little bit of life in. If our comic head was here, but anyway, I would say give that to him and let him whip that franchise into shape. I mean, you could give Frank Miller a lot of comic. He could just be like the comic book director, you know, based on, you know, what he's going to do with the Spirit. And he could breathe life and put a lot of franchises back together. A lot of stuff that he's worked on, he could really, you know, do his thing. But let me interject really fast. We're going to take a quick break.
Yeah, we've been talking
and
for
we've been talking
30
for
minutes
just
already.
about
And
30 minutes. Actually, let's just talk until it hits the 30-minute
Yeah.
segment so that officially be 30
exactly,
minutes.
30 minutes.
We're
And
just
we're up
gonna
35, 36, 37.
quench our thirst because this is still new to us, and we're gonna hold out to see if our comic book god is gonna show up.
Our Lord,
Our Lord of the
our illustrious, our Lord of the anal
Anal
rain
comic
toss.
He's gonna show up and bless us with all of his comic book
Wit and
knowledge.
wisdom.
Roberticus. So we will be back.
All right, everyone out there in what is this, podcast land? We're back. Rashawn Russell had to step out for a moment, and finally we got our comic book guru, or master, or whatever you want to call it here, to kind of clarify some stuff up we had regarding Dark Knight, and then from here we'll just take it wherever the hell it goes. But
Ahoy hoy, everybody! This is Roberto Rivera. And
Ahoy
thank
hoy.
you for having me.
all right, ahoy hoy. You want to reintroduce yourself?
Yes, this is Roberto Rivera, and I'm here to talk about comic books and stuff. You're welcome. We're
Bing, bing, bing. All right, Mr. Rivera, I had a question that kind of was like mind-boggling
Yes.
to Russell, because he had another outtake on it, you know, and okay, once again, if you didn't see the film, just leave, and if you don't give a shit, just hang out.
Spoiler alert!
What happens to the Joker? He's left hanging. We came up with some theories about him being arrested.
Most likely,
to
he's
the
taken
asylum.
to Arkham Asylum.
Yeah,
Which is,
that's what Russell said. And
Yeah.
because there's no way he could be arrested again after he had bailed, like bombed him his way out, you know. But then, does that mean he'll have some kind of a comeback? You
well,
know?
maybe that's kind of how they left it up. I mean, he is Batman's ultimate villain.
Exactly. He's the type that just doesn't die.
Now, the big question is, though, is Heath Ledger's dead.
I
So
know.
now do they want to recast, which they could. And they've done that lots of times. But,
Who
how
would they
really-
recast though?
Oh,
Who
God,
would they
I
wind
mean-
up getting for the Joker? Because he like,
Well, think of it like this. When they announced that it was Heath Ledger as the Joker, everybody was like, what? Heath Ledger? All right, sure. And then when we saw the final product, yeah, it worked. So there's lots of guys out there. I mean, Gyllenhaal, who's very boyish, yeah, but with the
Gyllenhaal.
makeup, he does the good. He does the good fucking psycho thing. You ever seen Donnie Darko?
yes, I've seen
Stuff like
Donnie
that,
Darko
yeah, I mean,
many times, and
He's good at
there's
that. He's good at that. But I'm just throwing.
there's
I'm
actually
just saying.
two Donnie Darko versions, aren't there?
Yeah,
You
I only saw the one. I never saw the director's cut. I heard the director's cut is really wacky.
It's wicked, dude. It's fucking.
I want to
wicked.
see it. I want to see it.
It's like
I
I
love
mean,
Donnie Darko.
it's the most amazing thing on how far like someone's mentality can go
Mhm.
when they're just like deranged. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I enjoyed Donnie Darko. Wasn't that his first film? Like
No.
one of his first films, actually?
No, that's I think the movie that kind of made him visible. Because remember, he was Bubble Boy.
That's true. That's true.
He's done stuff,
Yeah, yeah. Who
But I think
was
Donnie
he?
Darko is when Hollywood just was like, okay, we got a serious player here. Like this guy's gonna
Yeah.
go somewhere, and he is, and he's good. He's really good.
Yeah, he is. So, okay, fine. If he's in the asylum, I guess...
Well, and that's the thing. Arkham Asylum is full of weirdos, and when Joker's like a regular resident there. I mean, I thought it was great that they didn't kill him off.
But also-
I thought that was kind of the bullshit thing in the first the Michael Keaton Batman, when they kill him off. But there was all kinds of things different about Burton's Batman. That didn't really follow the comic book continuity.
Well, Tim Burton never read the comic book.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
That's what I heard. I heard he never read the comic book. He just
Hey,
did research. He did what he had to do. I mean, he did a good
He did a
job.
fucking great job. I mean, from 1989, when you first see that, when Danny Elfman's score come up and you see The Dark Knight, it's like, oh shit, this guy did a fucking Batman movie.
Yeah. Okay, so the possibilities of him being in another film as the Joker, obviously gone with Heath Ledger because he died, but...
And that, of course, yeah, like that was the Joker's moment. Like that was his movie. The next movie is you shouldn't have the same villain in the same
No,
You know, because then it gets a little repetitive. And you gotta remember, folks, it's a movie. It's one director's vision, one writer's vision.
It's not a comic, which is like an ongoing story.
Yeah, of course. Because of course, logically, Batman should have killed the Joker years ago because it has a big pain in the ass.
Somewhat like Superman with Lex Luthor.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. But
I mean, with the next, the thing that the controversy, not controversy, I've been saying that all along, is the death of Harvey Dent, because
that was my next question. It's like, why? See, you also think he's dead. I think he no.
I think they buried Harvey Dent, but Two-Face is still alive somewhere. I think, because Batman knocks him out of a fucking window or something, and like that's and then it's like, okay, he's dead. Really?
Yeah, see, that kind of threw me off because I'm like, wait a minute, Harvey Dent, AKA Two-Face, he's a major player in the Batman stories. How did they kill Harvey Dent? But according to Russell's view on it, I don't know if you heard it from before, but he thinks they had like a memorial, for Harvey Dent.
That's what I'm saying. Like they were burying the memory of Harvey Dent. And because you know what, it's Hollywood, man. That's the whole thing about being a fucking writer. You could just come up with the shit in the next movie, like Two-Face wakes up in some like warehouse, like his body, whatever, and like there's people that like took care of him, like he had like a gang or something, and like or they could do some shit. They can go so many different ways. Like you could do a scene in the morgue,
True.
where like you see his, he wakes up or whatever, and he escapes or some stupid shit. There's so many ways you can go with it. But again, the Batman universe is diverse. I think it'd be interesting if they brought back Liam Neeson, because Ra's al Ghul never really dies. He's actually a couple hundred years old. Because the thing they never really touched on was that in the comic books, Ra's al Ghul, he developed this thing called a Lazarus pit, from the Bible and shit. And basically every, 80-something years, he resurrects himself. Like, he dips himself in this shit, and he stays young. He stays the guy he is. Because remember, in the first movie, you never really see him die.
No.
Batman said, I don't have to save you. Boom, flies away, the train crashes. That's it. You never see a body. Remember, man, in the movies and the fucking, you gotta see the body. You gotta, because you can always leave it open. Like, oh, he actually escaped,
True. All right, so you covered Joker, you covered Two-Face. Now, I think the most annoying question of the day, I don't know if it has anything to do with comic book knowledge, but why the voice, that raspy voice? Everybody I know,
has a problem.
even me, it was like, dude, what's up with that voice?
Because it's a persona thing. It's a thing is like, Bruce Wayne is Bruce Wayne. Remember, he really is the Dark Knight, pretending to be Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is, he's really all about the darkness, and the thing is the voice. The voice is meant to terrify. And also, like I said earlier, like before we started recording, it's like if you just walked around talking in his normal voice, people might recognize that he's Bruce Wayne. I know that's a long shot. That's a long shot theory, but
George Clooney did it.
everybody does it. Everybody did it. All the Batmans did it.
Val Kilmer did it.
Because that's the thing. That's the thing. You have to. That's the whole point of the fucking costume. And the shit is meant to terrify you. Why doesn't he just, of course they explain that, of course the costume has technological needs that he uses, he needs to fly around, he needs some kind of armor. But it's also meant to freak people out. I mean, when you see this guy, he's like 6'5", then with the pointy fucking ears, and he has that stealth-like ninja shit, and when he appears out of nowhere in the darkness, you shit your pants. It's all very psychological. So the voice I thought is very necessary, and I know a lot of people have a problem with it because he's trying to sound scary. But that's the point. He is scary. I don't know. Like I like the voice. I like it when he does it.
But he's a hero. He really shouldn't be. Well, I'm thinking he's
that's pretty broad because yes, he's a hero.
But he's on his own side.
Yeah, he's an anti-hero in a sense. And he's not there to fucking, just save babies from fires, and, he's a man on a mission. This is a guy who has the thread to back it up, the technology. So he's gonna go all out. He has the voice, he has his whole thing. And I think that's the big clash, especially in the first movie, where like Alfred keeps telling him, like, don't forget who you are. You're Bruce Wayne. You have a name to hold. So he has to kind of, and there's a point where those lines get blurred, because he'd rather be out there kicking ass than like socializing and going to parties and being a playboy. See, it's like one of my favorite things is that with like Tony Stark is almost the same character. So remember Zorro in the Frank Miller version of The Dark Knight Returns, the inspiration for the whole costume and mask thing came because the night his parents died, they didn't see it play. They were watching the movie Zorro, and the whole idea of this, wealthy. Remember, Zorro's the same character. He's a wealthy dude. He's part of the aristocracy. But yet, he puts on a mask, takes out a sword, and he fights for the helpless. So Bruce Wayne, growing up and he's developing the Batman character, always flashes back to Zorro, because that's, especially and it's an important moment because that's the night his parents died.
Interesting.
And Tony Stark, in a sense, I know I'm going off. Going on.
No, this is all good. This is
Tony
how it's
Stark,
supposed to be.
He's a
Take
fun
it
character
anywhere you want.
Because see, Tony's not damaged like that. Tony's a fucking fun-loving, booze-drinking, womanizing billionaire. He's what I would be if we were fucking billionaires. And not just that, he's a genius. He's brilliant. He creates all this technology and shit, and when he's Iron Man, he's having fun being Iron Man. Whereas, like, with Batman, that's like his job. Like, like, Bruce Wayne knows that there's always going to be a need for a Batman. Because the world initially is corrupt, and there's always going to be those who prey on the helpless.
True.
With Tony Stark, again, this guy, that's why I love Iron Man so much. I love that movie because, especially in the end, when, instead of keeping the whole secret identity, he flips and goes, hey, fuck it. I am Iron Man, bitches.
That's right.
And I love that. I love that part of the movie.
It eliminates all the speculations.
In the comic book for years, Iron Man is supposedly Tony Stark's bodyguard. It's like when Iron Man appears, it's like, yeah, Tony Stark built that thing because he's fucking brilliant. But it was really meant, more for like, it has other applications than just kicking ass. I mean, imagine like a whole army of Iron Man. You sent these guys out like to like some kind of like earthquake-stricken war zone, and with the technology, like they could use that shit to save people. I'm sorry, I went off on a weird rant there.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's meant to go anywhere you want. Now, here's the question: should there be a following movie after this one?
After Dark Knight? Or
Yeah.
I'm
sure there is.
You know the rule. You know the rule. It's always a three-peat.
Yeah.
Especially if your fucking movie in a couple of weeks made over $300 million. Yeah, you can guarantee there's gonna be a third movie. But
Who's the next villain?
Well, hell.
I keep hearing the Riddler.
You know what? You can get Riddler. You can get Ra's al Ghul back. You can have fucking Catwoman in there. And when you come up with Catwoman, remember she's kind of a villain. Because they always have this need to have Bruce Wayne hook up with somebody.
Always.
Because he has to. It's not. It can't be just all fucking Dark Knight shit. He has to have some kind of love life. So you can introduce that. But this is Chris Nolan. They're taking it real. In Batman Year One, the comic book, another brilliant piece of work. Selena Khan's a prostitute who becomes Catwoman. She's not some just average chick who decides I'm gonna fight crime with a whip and stuff. No, she's fucked up in her own way. So you can have her in that mix. Yeah, you can get a Riddler in there. I like the fact in Dark Knight that the fucking Scarecrow is still kind of a pain in the ass. He's
Yeah.
kind of a low-level pain in the ass. Like, I'm pretty sure Batman had to deal with him like every 6 months or so. He has to deal with the fucking Scarecrow. To the point where they're almost like friends. Like, all right, asshole. You know, I'll see you again in 6 months. All right, asshole.
What did you feel about in this film with the Dark Knight? How they had these copycats, like, you know,
Brilliant. That actually is very realistic.
Scarecrow copycats.
Imagine if like we had a guy like that running around who almost seems superhuman. You know, this guy flies around and fucks people up, and like he does what like cops and lawyers and like lawmakers fail to do for years. Like he'll bring bring down the mob. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Because there's other people out there. There's a lot of people out there who feel the same way, but they feel powerless.
Yep.
You know, like
Well,
and this is where I'm going to sound like a fucking psychopath. Trust me, if I had the bread, and I would totally maybe not don a costume, you know, not something as gay as like maybe like spandex or whatever, because I'll just get my ass kicked. But if I could, you know, yeah, if I had the bread and the collateral, yeah, man, and I had a time, I'd go around fucking, you know, doing some work. And yeah, because I'm that kind of fucked up. And my head is in a different place. You know, I'm into comic books. I grew up, I live and breathe this shit. But, I'm going off on another weird tangent.
Go ahead.
Going on, there's a website I like to go to, superherohype.com. Not a plug, but trust me, it's a cool site.
It's a plug, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, there you go. It's a good site. On the message boards, there was this one like article about it read there's over 200 costume superheroes working in the United States right now, and there's these fucking fuckwads, these fucking people who are like costume vigilantes, but like in weird cities, like you know, like I don't know, like Wisconsin has a guy, you know, who like walks around in a mask or something, but carries like tasers and shit. And you know, this is like a real thing, and I found that fascinating because I'm like, you know, that takes a lot of balls. Because you know, if you live like us, like I live in the South Bronx, really fucking, I live around a lot of dangerous people who can give a fuck about human life. And for some guy to run around out there with a mask and you know trying to stop crime, that's nuts, man. Because you know, it's not like these guys. It's not like the Punisher. It's not like some guy running around there with Uzis, gunning down, you know, purse snatchers. You know, there are people out there right now who really are like those guys in Dark Knight. You know, trying to make a difference. Maybe they're damaged in some way. Maybe they're living on a different level of consciousness, but I find the whole thing really interesting, and I would think that would make an interesting movie. In fact, shit, going on another fucking tangent. There's a comic book out there right now by Mark Millar, the guy who wrote Wanted. It's called Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass.
And basically, it's that story. It's about a story about this teenage kid in high school who's like a nobody, and for some reason he decides he just lives with his dad, and you know he's kind of a schmucky kid, you know, nobody pays attention to him, but he kind of decides that he wants to make a difference. He wants to be a superhero, and he gets like a weird costume, and he walks around with like these 2 batons, and the first couple times he gets his fucking ass kicked because it's even the notion, like the ridiculous notion that he goes up with some punks and he fucks a couple of them up, but they jump him and they beat the shit out of him. But he keeps doing it, and then it gets to a point now. Then at one point, he rescues some kid from getting mugged by some Puerto Ricans.
Oh, why do they have to be Puerto Ricans?
Mike Marlowe, I guess, hates Puerto Ricans because he does that in Wanted too. I'm kidding. I'm sure he doesn't. But you know, it's very reality based. You know, he's a kid who lives in an inner city kind of thing. It makes sense, you know. But the thing is, he fucks these guys up. He actually gets the upper hand, and everything is captured on fucking video cameras and shit. And he becomes like an overnight sensation, like on YouTube. And he becomes in a sense, a superhero. And then people are like calling for help and stuff like that, and it's a really interesting book. You should check it out because it's like again, it's not like some kid that has like superpowers or something. It's just a kid who wants to kind of make a difference. Okay.
Like a lot of people.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Listen, man, I live in a borough where ignorance is king and knowledge is lost. And there's kids out there who have no education. And
no, it's true.
run
It's true
wild.
because I have two friends of mine that are teachers here in the South Bronx,
Mhm.
and the stories I hear about how they have students that are geniuses, but because they have stupid parents or whatever, they cannot.
They can't move on.
So they're kind of locked in this bubble of they have to quote keep it real unquote
Yeah.
and keep that mentality of
Instead of promoting knowledge and
Yeah.
ascending to something better,
Mhm.
they're trapped in this fucking violent, ugly world where they don't really have a choice. I mean, it's Darwinism out here. It's survival of the fittest.
Yep.
The meaner and stronger and more fucked up you are, the more you'll thrive in this environment. What if one of those kids decided to take stuff, and the law doesn't help you because, of course, let's say me and you, we go out, we start patrolling the streets, and we start taking it to them. We're the guys that get arrested.
Yeah, because it's.
Well,
What
did
do
the
they call
kid,
it?
well, did the guy you just beat the shit off, the dude with the fucking criminal record, the
Did you
guy,
see him doing something?
Did he hit you first?
I know.
Were you
Is there
trying to defend
evidence? Is there?
Yeah. And it all works against you. And it's a sad thing, but that's what it is.
I
I think that's why movies like this, and I think that's why comic books and things is really important, because at least it'll give the smart kids an idea there's a world bigger than the shithole they live in now. That they can aspire to be great.
Can you just imagine a life with a Batman, with a Joker, with an Iron Man?
It'd be scary. It'd be a terrifying world. I mean, at the same time, brilliant, but think about it. The Joker, what makes him fucking fascinating is that he's not some mob guy. He's not some guy who
No, he's
for the
just some
money.
schlub that.
He is a mass murdering motherfucker. He loves it. I mean, come on, man, physically he can't go up against Batman.
No, he cannot.
He
No
always
one.
he always gets his ass kicked. But that's the thing. He's like, all right, while you're kicking my ass, I already planted like 2 bombs in like 2 hospitals or 2 schools. So you can keep kicking my ass if you want. But
Or you could play a hero.
yeah, it was an interesting. There was remember? Do you ever watch Justice League Unlimited? Remember Justice League cartoon?
Yes, yes.
Okay, they
The
had
new ones or
the new one, the unlimited one, but they had everybody, and
Okay.
they had this really brilliant fucking storyline that later on you find out was like in an alternate Earth kind of thing.
Okay.
But it's a scene where like Lex Luthor is president, right? And like it's like we get into the very last scene. That's how it opens up. And he's in the Oval Office and he's got his finger on the fucking button. And Superman is standing there. And he's like, I got you. You're going down for this and that. And Lex Luthor's like, fuck you. I'm not going down shit. You can stop me right now from killing all these people. You can rip my arms off. You can do this. You can do that. But you know what? You know why I always win? It's because you're you. And you'll never do what it takes to stop me. We need each other. And at that moment, Superman's eyes glow red. And then the next shot is Batman. Everybody rushes back in, and they're like, "Oh shit!" And off camera, you can kind of tell Lex Luthor got cooked.
Wow.
Kills him, and Batman's like, "Well, it had to be done." And of course, every time I talk like Batman, I'm going to use the voice.
Was it
Just
done
to
in that
annoy-
voice?
Just to annoy people who hate the voice.
The
So,
voice.
but that's the thing. That's where Superman crosses the line. And now, like, in that world, like, the Justice League almost become like fascists. Like, okay, world, check it out. You know how this whole world is fucked up and we're the superheroes? Well, instead of playing by the rules, we're not going to play by the rules anymore. and we're gonna do whatever it takes to stop people. So now there's that line. Are these guys still heroes? They're keeping the peace. But, you know, Superman's like a god. You know, yeah, he can pick you apart like a little kid does to like an insect. You know. I love the line in Kill Bill 2 where David Carradine is talking about how his favorite hero is Superman. And he loves Superman because, you know, like when Superman wakes up in the morning, he's Superman. He doesn't have to put on a mask, put on a costume. No, the costume he puts on is that of Clark Kent. Bumbling, clumsy, kind of oafish. And it's Superman's critique on the human race. Clark Kent. And I love that little line. I'm sorry, I don't know where I was going with that, but I just thought it was kind of
Interesting. No, it's interesting. Now, one thing about the Joker in The Dark Knight, this other situation that came up with Russell was the scene with the fairies. I would have loved to have seen the Joker be a little bit more cryptic than the way they had him. I mean, he was a mean mofo.
Wait, and which is he?
In The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Okay, at the end with the fairies, when they each had a chance to blow each other up,
Oh.
I would have loved to have seen somebody taking somebody out. Just to add that extra pizzazz to the Joker character. Like, you see, I created that. I'm not almighty, I'm not powerful, but I've got a mind, and I can work it, and I can work you.
And a fucked up mind.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the thing. It's so complex. It's so twisted.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the idea that, you know, Maggie Gyllenhaal eats it at that one. Like, he's not fucking around. Like, you know, like it's like, yeah, I'm gonna destroy your whole fucking world. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And
yeah.
he destroyed two worlds because he
destroyed.
destroyed Harvey
He
Dent.
succeeded. He succeeded in destroying Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
And he turned Harvey Dent into something else. Something even more vicious. Because
Yeah.
Harvey Dent still has that kind of righteous set of mind. That's why he still flipped the coin. You know. I really love Harvey Dent in this movie. I
think,
love that descent. The descent, like the fall on the White Knight.
Yeah, true. And I like that line when the Joker tells Batman at the end, "We all need an ace in the hole. Mine was Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
What's yours?" You know, it's like, ooh, oh,
Motherfucker.
oh. I'm like, holy shit, that was great. That was great. And the Joker had a lot of great lines that, I mean,
Oh yeah, man.
it's just like that whole thing where he goes, you know, if you're good at something, never do it for free.
Exactly.
You know, it makes you think. And it's just a film, it's a character, it's writing, and you're like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
You really think about it, like, you know what? Yeah.
That's the seduction of the dark side, isn't it?
It is.
You know, like don't you have more fun when you're a little bad?
Yeah.
You know, I know I did.
Yeah.
You know, trust me. It's always fun being a little bad.
It is.
You know, and that's the thing is that seduction, that like, you know, not giving a fuck about the rules. Just I'm gonna do shit just to stir things up. Just inside chaos.
Lots of people stand. I mean, you know, history shows that whether negative or positive, people that do it their way always stand out.
Yep.
You know, yeah, counterculture, whatever you want to call it, but
it's still, you know, it's something I read a long time ago. It's probably a corny horoscope thing, but it's like nature respects boldness. Like, the more bold you are, the more confident you are in life, the more you're willing to break the rules, the more you'll be remembered, the more of an impact you'll have than just playing it safe, playing it quiet. You know. It's
I
like,
guess
you know,
George
would
Bush
you
will be
rather
remembered forever.
Famous or infamous? You know, that kind of thing.
I guess George Bush will be remembered forever.
Oh my God, history is gonna fucking love the shit out of George.
They're gonna-
Hey, look what history did with Reagan. When that old bastard crowed, they were like, oh, greatest man who ever lived, greatest president who ever lived.
Love
Except
Reagan.
if you lived in the fucking South Bronx, except if you were poor. Yeah, Reagan is not that much of a hero.
Yeah.
But it's those, it's, you know, the conquistadors, when they took over, destroyed, you know, Indian culture in South America. Hey, without those assholes, we wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
But that's how history now sees it. These guys, you know, Columbus, you know, created the New World.
Yeah.
And, you know,
He
maybe he
dis-
did. But he fucked
discovered
a lot.
America.
Yeah, Vikings discovered America. They just didn't know what the fuck to do with it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah,
They
true.
were back.
They're like, what is this? They were scratching their hard
Yeah,
hats.
what the
Like,
fuck is this?
I know.
It's great.
Wow.
All right, any more questions, my young friend?
Yeah. Okay. Now, let's see here. I'm trying to go back. Okay.
Yeah.
You
You
did
know
the
what?
boys.
As you're thinking, Roberto Rivera is going to get a beer. Let's see how fast he gets this. Everybody, time it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And he's back.
11 seconds.
11
ladies and gentlemen.
seconds. I'm getting old,
11
guys.
seconds.
I used to pull that. You want one of these?
No, no, not now.
Not now?
Maybe later on.
Later?
Just don't go drinking them all. You know.
I might do that.
All right.
There's a good chance that's going to happen. But let's stick to the subject.
All right.
So-
Okay, you've answered Harvey, you've answered the Joker, you've answered the
Yeah, barely.
possibilities of the next maybe villain or whatever.
Right.
You've answered the ironies of comic books versus real life, and you know those that imitate art in some
Well,
schlubby
I always-
town
I
in,
always felt that
in
comic books-
Wisconsin.
I always felt that comic books reflected real life. And just the way comic books are like our new mythology. Just like back in the day, you know, they created characters like Zeus and Hercules and all these great
Zeus.
stories, you know? You know, all the ancient gods and shit. We have that now. We're doing the same thing.
Interesting. Very well. All right, so here we are coming to a close, and
29
I'd
minutes.
like to thank Mr. Roberto Rivera here for blessing us with his knowledge of comic books
With
and,
my boozy,
and
drunken knowledge
heroes,
of
and he does it his
comic
way.
world.
So until next time, this is Roberto Rivera and Lee Romero, and
Rashawn Russell, Silent Films, AreYouInEffect.com, closing out our podcast. I went to buy some food so we can eat and do some other things pertaining to my film Scholastic Effect, which we will be talking about in much later detail at another time. As I slowly let this clock run down, we are going to see you next time.
Goodbye!